kicking off our bulletin now. Ezra Chiloba Simiyu has been sworn in as the Secretary and Chief Executive Officer of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. Speaking during the swearing-in before Chief Justice William Mutunga at the Supreme Court this morning, Simiyu said he is ready to fulfill his mandate and that his first priority will be to fast-track electoral reforms ahead of the 2017 general election. He further warned that the Commission will not tolerate any violation of the Electoral Code of Conduct during the upcoming Kajiado and Homa Bay by-elections.
Stable and sustainable democracy is what many Kenyans out there desire. Building that democratic state requires the participation of all of us, and I mean all of us. We will endeavor to build strategic partnerships by reaching out to all stakeholders, including political parties, government, civil society organizations, development partners, private sector, and the media, to mention just a few.
The Deputy CEO, CS, Support Services, Mr. Wilson Sholei, was terminated by the Commission's his employment was terminated, but he went to court, and there's a court order asking us to reinstate him on the payroll until his case is over in the anti-corruption court. But we have also been given the go-ahead to recruit another Deputy CEO. What we have done now is we have agreed to comply first and foremost with the court order and put him back on the payroll. But we shall appeal the court order because it does not make sense to have two deputy CEOs on the payrolls.
Now, the Ministry of Lands and the National Lands Commission and leaders of Makueni County are currently in a closed-door meeting over the ongoing construction of the standard gauge railway. The meeting has been convened to iron out issues that may affect the construction. Timothy Otieno is at the meeting and now joins us on phone. Good afternoon, Timothy. What exactly is happening there? Which leaders have gone to the meeting?
Thank you very much, Najma. I'm here at the Crown Plaza Hotel, where officials from the Ministry of Lands, the National Lands Commission, and the Makueni leaders are held up in talks about the standard gauge railway. The people in attendance, as at 11 a.m. this morning, when the meeting began, is the Lands Cabinet Secretary Charity Ngilu, Chairman of the National Lands Commission, Mohamed Swazuri. We also saw Makueni Senator Mtula Kilonzo Jr., as well as the Principal Secretary for Transport, Nduva Muli, who is also in the meeting. The meeting also has local leaders from Makueni County, as well as representatives from the China Road and Bridge Corporation, Nadma.
Last week, Timothy, there was a workers' strike where they were protesting poor pay and working conditions. Do you think that maybe this meeting is about that, or it will address those issues?
It's a bit hard to speculate about the details and the agenda of the meeting that's now, because it's a closed-door meeting. But I believe that is one of the issues on the discussion table. Najma, remember, about 300 local workers from the China Road and Bridge Corporation did go on strike last week, and remember, the standard gauge railway is one of the Jubilee government's flagship projects, and it is a project that many believe is close to the president's heart. So, and what following the president's visit to Chitwande last week, which is actually in Makueni County, is that the government does not want any form of delay in terms of strikes that may delay the process of construction of the standard gauge railway, Najma. I also managed to talk to a member of the county assembly from Makueni who had stepped out of the meeting briefly, and he tells me that the meeting has been conducted, of course, to iron out issues in regards to strikes that may emanate from this process. He also told me that matters on compensation of land, private landowners in Makueni whose land had been taken by the government through compulsory acquisitions were and are supposed to be compensated, and that is also one of the key aspects that will be discussed in the meeting, Najma. This also, he told me that they're also going to talk about employment of locals of Makueni in the construction of the standard gauge railway. Remember, Najma, the president last week advised that 50% of the 30,000 jobs that will be availed for the project should be sourced from local. So most probably that is going to be one of the key agendas of the meeting, Najma.
Well, Timothy, maybe just to wind up, can you tell me anything about the disagreement between Ngilu and Swazuri on roles? We're told that Ngilu dismissed the report that was given by NLC. Are you able to just maybe give me something on that?
Considering it's important, that is a very good question, Najma. It's interesting because actually Clarity Ngilu, the Minister for Land, did actually walk in with the National Land Commission Chair, Mohammed Swazuri. From their body language, they seem to be in good terms. There appear to be no hard feelings, but that is just in face value. In terms of details as to whether they have ironed out their issues between the ministry and the commission, as for now, it's a bit hard to determine. We have to wait for the meeting to end to find out. But it's important to note that indeed they came in together, and the reception and the feeling, it's a mutual feeling. They were in talking terms, so to speak.
The county government of Nairobi Ministry of Environment has embarked on reclaiming riparian land and cleaning up the rivers. The exercise, dubbed My Clean City, aims at regaining its lost glory. The project of rehabilitating the rivers in the county is expected to cost over 1 billion shillings. The drive will kick off with cleanup exercises on the 27-kilometer of the Nairobi River, followed by Ngong River and others in the county. Local communities living along the river banks will be mobilized to participate in the project. This comes in the wake of dying aquatic life due to dumping of toxic waste and raw sewers to the river. The Environment Minister Evans Ondieki has put the people who have encroached on the riparian land on notice and warned that structures erected there will be demolished. Businesses found dumping waste in the rivers and the drainage were also warned that they would lose their licenses. The project is expected to kick off on the 12th of February, preceded by a public awareness campaign on keeping the environment clean. Now, bar owners in Nyeri are up against what they term as criminalization of their businesses by the Nyeri County government. The association that has 300 registered members says the levies slapped on them are ridiculously high. Their representative says in 2010 they were paying a levy of just 4,000, which was shot up to an amount of 80,000 shillings this year. They have decried the lack of public participation in the decision to revise the levies upwards. The Nyeri High Court has, however, issued an order directing the county government to stop charging the said levies until the matter is heard and determined. Justice Jairus Nga has certified the case as urgent and directed the inter-parties hearing to be heard on the 18th of February 2015.
Again, that money is exorbitant. So the director the other day, on 8th January, wrote a letter ordering all bar operators in Nyeri County to pay 2014 licenses by 30th January, and then use that receipt to pay by 31st March 2015 licenses. So why double taxation? Why are we being told to pay for last year's license fee? And we know there was no court, there was no county accordance regulation committee. It has not even today been constituted. This industry has already been criminalized. And we have said if they don't want bar people to go ahead, then they should not want their money. They should not talking about taxing bar operators.
There was no public participation because every sub-county were being called 3 people. And a sub-county does not constitute 3 people. Sub-county have got over 100 or 150 people. Why did they choose only 3 people to go on behalf of others?
Still in Nyeri now, residents of Chania village in Nyeri County would be now counting losses after a stone wall that they had been complaining about to the authorities for a very long time caved in. Residents say it would have been a different story had it been a weekend, as children play near the perimeter wall and would have been the first casualties. One parent said she had just returned home after escorting her children to school when she heard a loud bang as the wall came down. The parents say that despite numerous complaints to the the authorities that the wall had become a hazard, nothing had been done so far. Rare Ward MCA Simon Kiragu said the notice had been given to the proprietors of the property, but nothing had been done. He noted that the county government would be forced to demolish the wall today at the owner's cost.
Hii ukuta imeanguka kitu saa 1:30, but by God's power watoto wetu walikuwa wameshatoka wakaenda shule, so wakati tuwazinikisha wakaenda shule, si tukarudi after kitu 1 hour juu natoka hapa 6, so kitu 7:30 ndio tukasikia mgurugumuko, tukashindwa ni gari imeanguka ama ni nini, ndio tukatoka kuangalia tukakuta ni ukuta imeanguka.
Kasa ile ilikuweko kabla haijaanguka, tulikuwa tumecomplain ije iondolewe kwa sababu ilikuwa nataka kuanguka, haikuondolewa na watoto wanakuanga wanachezea hapa.
He has been given notice to demolish, and since he has not done it, the steps have been taken now, and it is going to be happen. It is going to be demolished. The other part which has not, the other part which is remaining.
Now, more than 80 people have been admitted at 2 hospitals in Samburu County after severe food poisoning. The residents from the Suguta Marmar area are said to have eaten meat from a cow that died due to illness. The patients have been admitted at the Suguta Health Center and the Kisima Health Centers. Kenya Red Cross officials have confirmed the incident after visiting the scene and said that there is still an unknown number of people who consume the meat. He further appealed to the residents to avoid meat from dead animals. The county government of Samburu Health Department officials also visited the scene and said that they are trying to contain the situation.
Sasa mtu ukianza na hii mgonjwa ile amekula ng'ombe, unaanza kichwa, nasikia tena hapo mwaini mpaka tumbo na nguruma mpaka naarisha mtu.
Watu karibu 80 ambao wamekula ng'ombe ambaye ilikuwa imedungwa shindano na watu wengi wakawa wagonjwa. Niliweza kuconfirm katika health center ya Suguta Marmar na pia Kisima Health Center, ambaye Kisima kuna wagonjwa 32 na pia Suguta iko wagonjwa 40. Mpaka saa hii nimeweza kupitia hizo hospitali zote, na saa hii tuko kwa hii Manyata ambaye tumekuta bado kuna watu wengine especially watoto kama huyu nimeshika hapa ambaye anaonekana ni mgonjwa sana.
Workers at G4S security firm have signed a recognition agreement that will see the workers get additional perks under their terms of service. Among the new terms is a medical cover and an education cover. Speaking during the signing of the agreement earlier today, G4S Managing Director noted that as a company, they were keen on maintaining sound industrial relationship with its staff and affiliate unions representing workers in the private security sector. The agreement will also see staff at the firm be entitled to engaging in collective bargaining agreements. The nature of industrial relations have over the time become rather antagonistic, and more companies are opting to accord their staff the right to join representative unions. The move by G4S is seen as a move to curb arbitrary strikes which result into lengthy and costly court proceedings.
We'll also make sure that the terms and conditions over and what you've given us, we give more other benefits in terms of school fees. We give them also education fund. We also give them medical cover, and we give them insurance. So whereas the recognition agreement is geared towards improving their terms, we as a business recognize that these are values that we should have given to the employees and have gone ahead and given that. So this recognition agreement essentially cements what we have in our process and procedure.
Things are not going to be the same again. We are going to change the way we have been handling things, because now we have got a memorandum through which if any problem comes up, we must consult that document in relation to that problem that is coming up within our members or the side of the management. Private security plays a very serious role in complementing to the government as security agents. So the government is supposed to recognize the role that the private security is playing in our country. And then we are saying, if the government recognizes our role, then we are supposed to actually to have what we call some organized training for the for the private security and the gadgets, because the intelligence is all about information, not only carrying of the guns.
And welcome back to KTN News Desk. I'm Michael Karanja. Now, there's been a wave of activity, especially in the Saccos industry, and for most Kenyan Saccos have been a healthy alternative to going to commercial banks, especially when they're looking for credit. And I'm now joined in studio by Mr. Boniface Ayub, who's the national chairman for the Chai Sacco. Karibu sana.
Thank you. Thank you,
Now, Chai Sacco, as you wish to fit into this whole mold, you're seeking to mobilize almost 500 million shillings in capital, in share capital. Why are you going after such a drive?
A bit of a background, Mr. Karanja. Chai Sacco was founded in year 1973 as a savings and credit cooperative society by the then Kenya Tea Development Authority members of staff.
Yep.
The principal objective was to afford those members an avenue for savings and getting cheap credit for themselves. That has been on since then, and that objective has been carried on, has been perpetuated by the leaders in this organization till 2009, when Chai was identified as one of the well-managed Saccos in Africa by the World Council of Credit Unions. So it was to come in and to be as one of the model Saccos, where the World Council of Credit Unions wanted to bring into this country potential standards on how Saccos should be managed. Yeah. And that opened up avenues for Chai Sacco because it upped its game in terms of efficiency. And come 2011, Chai Sacco was licensed by SACIRA. And upon licensing by SACIRA to take deposits from the public, therefore we had an avenue of now opening up what was known as a common pond. So now the Sacco is open to the public, and therefore there has been an urgent kind of desire from members and the public to join this Sacco of ours. And therefore, to serve them better, we have come up with a strategic plan running from 2014 to 2018, and that's where...
So it's a full strategy to raise 500 million shillings.
That's where we have...
Why do you need the additional share capital in Chai Sacco?
Thank you, Mr. Karanja. That's a very good question. We need this money for us to put in place structures to enable us serve the need of our members. One, we want to have an enterprise. In fact, it's almost complete. An enterprise resource planning system. This is an ICT system that will make that will bring efficiency to the manner in which service delivery to the members will be done. Besides that, we want to get closer to our members wherever they are within the Republic of Kenya.
So that's expansion.
So we are on an aggressive expansion program. Yeah. We are going to set up branches. By the end of the brand period, we are planning for 9 branches. We have kicked off with a Nairobi branch, a modern branch, looking like another bank. Right. If you walked in, you will really like it. So we want to replicate the same throughout the country.
It's interesting you mentioned that, because Saccos, like I mentioned earlier, it seems like a healthy or a better alternative to people who might find accessing credit from banks a bit difficult. How have Saccos, generally speaking, managed to adhere themselves or even make themselves more likable to members of the public in terms of credit in terms of sourcing credit?
At the Sacco, you are treated as a member, not a customer like in the bank. You own a stake in the Sacco, and therefore your voice is heard through the governance structure that there is, and also you are known better, you have a say, you have representation in the board, and therefore you are looked at as the member. In fact, the money that we render out belongs to the members. So it is this money, it is this kind of model that makes it endearing to members of the public. And further to that, you are safe. You are not harassed. You are not, this kind of that the bank, if you default once, a moment in the bank will be at your doorstep. But in the Sacco, there are structures we have put in place that we get to understand what's happening with the member. with a view to agreeing on how to repay and also to save. That has worked very well. Right. And therefore, there is that understanding between the Sacco management and the members.
And then just finally, how then do you see Saccos fitting into this whole equation of financial inclusion in terms of just making these services more accessible and affordable to members of the public?
I want to give assurance to the members of the public that the Saccos in this country, it's not the Saccos that they used to know. Yeah. Where you used to hear that funds of members have been embezzled by members and by the management, the staff, left, right, center. That is no longer the case because we have a body that is regulating the Sacco. Just the way central bank regulates the banks, we have an organization called Sacco Societies Regulatory Authority, SASRA, yeah, that regulates the Saccos and checks the Saccos. Like for us, we are one of those that are licensed by SASRA. We have to submit a report for prudential and compliance every month, and every year we are licensed. As we are talking now, we have the license to run the business this year.
No, I was asking in terms of just how then do you make yourselves more accessible to the public in terms of financial inclusion?
In terms of financial inclusion, we are sensitizing the members. Like I've come here to make members know that the Chai Sacco is there. We have sent our officers out there so that they get to know that there is this Sacco called Chai Sacco that is doing very well, and which they need to join and save and get the cheap credit. So we are encouraging the general public to visit us in our head office and even the branches and even our website, so that they get to know about Chai Sacco and what we are doing.
Thank you very much. That has been Mr. Boniface Ayub, the chairman of Chai Sacco, just telling us about how Saccos are playing a key role in just financial inclusion in this country.
Well, that's it on News Desk. My name is Najma Ismail. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.